Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We all love our trees, right? I mean, they give us that crucial shade, they boost our property values, and let's face it, they just make our yards look awesome. But there's an absolutely fascinating truth about Florida landscaping that most folks actually get completely backward. The way you're caring for your trees right now, well, it might actually be slowly destroying them.
If you ask experienced Florida arborists what they wish every single homeowner knew, they'll point straight to this exact concept. Look, you aren't trying to hurt your trees. We know you want them to thrive, but well-meaning habits, things like overwatering, over-pruning, and the dreaded volcano mulching, honestly, they cause way more damage than insects or diseases ever could.
So are you accidentally killing your trees with kindness? Today, we're going to course correct those well-intentioned mistakes, and we're starting from the exact moment a tree goes into the ground. Because the truth is, most Florida tree problems begin right at planting. If we fix how we start, we literally change the canopy's entire lifespan.
Let's talk about the absolute foundation here, the root flare. This is that vital area where the trunk actually widens out into its root system. Planting trees way too deeply is, without a doubt, the single most common mistake in Florida. You see, nurseries often ship trees with extra soil already covering this crucial area, and if you bury it, you're basically setting your tree up for trunk rot and suffocating roots right out of the gate.
Because of that, the universal arborist's mantra is super simple. Find the flare before you plant. Keeping that flare exposed above the finished grade is absolutely non-negotiable. It allows the root system to actually breathe, and it massively, I mean massively, increases the tree's resilience against our intense Florida weather.
Now, you might be wondering, why does planting depth matter quite so much? Well, prepare to be surprised. An astonishing 90% of a tree's absorbing roots are located in just the top 12 to 18 inches of soil. Think about that. Tree roots don't just shoot straight down like a carrot. They stay right near the surface so they can gather up oxygen and moisture. And here's another wild fact. Those shallow roots, they don't just politely stop at the edge of the leaves. No, they actively extend 2 to 3 times the width of the canopy. In our sandy Florida soils, they reach even further. This means that your lawn herbicides, heavy equipment, or even just heavy foot traffic, well, they can compact or sever those vital roots from far, far away from the actual trunk. Because these incredibly widespread roots desperately need to breathe, they actually need oxygen just as much as they need water. So for newly planted trees, you're going to want to water them really deeply for the first week or two, and then just back off. Deep soakings absolutely beat frequent, shallow irrigation every single time. And hey, instead of reaching for chemical fertilizers, rely on compost. Just remember the golden rule: feed the soil, not the tree.
Now, proper mulch is your best investment, for sure, but there's definitely a right and a wrong way to do it. On one hand, you have the ideal ring, we're talking 2 to 4 inches deep, and kept several inches entirely away from the trunk. But on the other hand, you have the dreaded mulch volcano. Piling all that mulch right up against the bark, it traps moisture, invites a ton of insects, and actually promotes choking roots. It's a real landscape killer.
So instead of piling it high, spread it wide. Building a bigger mulch ring every single year protects those vital surface roots from aggressive lawn grass, which, by the way, actively competes with your tree for water and oxygen. And crucially, a nice wide ring keeps mowers and string trimmers far away from the structural anchor roots, the ones that literally prevent your tree from blowing over in a storm.
All right, moving up into the canopy, this is where homeowners often make the fatal error of focusing on appearance rather than structure. The absolute cardinal rule here: never ever top a tree. Chopping off the upper canopy just for size control creates weak, hazardous regrowth. It drastically increases internal decay, and honestly, it essentially guarantees a shortened lifespan for the tree. Just don't do it. And right before hurricane season rolls around, people tend to panic and completely overthin their trees. Now, you definitely want to remove deadwood, correct those weak codominant stems, and generally improve balance. That's all good, but never strip out the interior branches or lion tail the limbs, where you leave just a little tuft of leaves at the ends. It turns out a tree actually really needs its interior branches to safely dissipate wind energy.
So, if you take away absolutely anything from this explainer today, let it be these 5 structural priorities straight from the pros. Number 1, expose that root flare. 2, create a large, wide mulch ring. 3, water correctly during establishment. 4, always prune for structure, not just appearance. And 5, protect those roots from compaction. If you can master these, you're going to prevent the vast majority of totally avoidable landscape failures.
It all comes back to practicing right tree, right place from the very start. That means avoiding planting massive trees in tiny little grass strips. Treating mature native species, like those gorgeous live oaks and bald cypress, as long-term assets is going to save you money, boost your property value, and deeply support our local ecosystem. Because at the end of the day, the absolute cheapest tree removal is the one you never actually need to pay for.
I want to leave you with this final, rather provocative thought. Knowing that your beautiful, shady trees might actually be suffering from the wrong kind of love right now, what are you going to do differently tomorrow? Are you going to get out there and dig out that root flare, maybe widen that mulching a bit? The long-term health of your trees is quite literally in your hands. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and happy, healthy planting.
Learning happens through exposure, not instruction. Follow the varied path. Seek knowledge with curiosity at viavaria.co.